Hello everyone and welcome to another track guide video, and today we got Suzuka in Group 2. And for this one I decided to go with this Honda NSX, and we are going to be using the soft tires. This is mandatory and it's the only option in the race as well as in the qualifying. You just need to use the soft tires without pitting, without doing anything. So basically it's a no-stop strategy, and I guess it's all about the time trial in this one. So guys, without further ado, let's get going. And starting with the lap, and you may notice that I'm not upshifting into 6th gear. I'm always staying in 5th and revving it up until the apex. So basically, actually it's not the apex, it's your first braking point, which is the beginning of this curve. So I try to go in a little bit wider, not exactly touching the curb because it can spin you out, but also if you're carrying enough speed, it's actually going to give you a nice speed of rotation, but not too much rotation is actually what you need in here, so just a little bit. And kind of in the middle of the next curve you actually start to accelerate, but in 3rd gear. So you want to use the whole track here. So if you're not using the whole track, you're losing just a lot of time here, and you really need to utilize every millimeter of this circuit. So going flat out, kind of flat out until this point, and just a little lift, and then when we get to this point, it's just a little tap on the brakes. You may notice that I'm tapping at about maybe 15, maybe 20%. 3rd gear, and until this point you need to go over this green stuff. You absolutely need to. And here is just once again a little tap on the brakes, but this time at about 30-40%. If you do a little bit more, the car may stop and you might lose all of the downforce, and eventually the downforce is what gives you speed with this car. So you need to maintain the speed, you need to maintain the downforce, and something like that you need to maintain in here. So it's actually about upshifting into 4th gear and putting the power down. So if you're in 3rd and then later you need to upshift, you're pretty much losing like half a tank or maybe even more, and the car actually slides quite a lot in 3rd. But here 50, just a little bit before, I would say 60-65, you're braking, but you actually want to avoid that curve because it can actually spin you out, and it's one of the toughest ones on the track. But here, as soon as you get on the curb, once again, brake kind of in the straight line, but also do not trail brake that much because the car likes to understeer. So you just basically want to brake in the straight line, let go, and the car will eventually rotate. Something like that here, but not exactly. You need to trail brake a little bit. So this is the braking point. Brake in the straight line 2nd, and then you're downshifting into 1st, but you can see that I kind of took the wider line. And you let go of everything, you basically coast for literally half a second or maybe even a second, and then put the power down at about 75% and then hold it. And hold it until you straighten up the car. That's, I think, the crucial point when the car is slow. So this is pretty much the scenario if you want to keep the speed all the way until this point, which is another braking point. And just before the 50, I think I found this one a little bit more useful than the 50 one because it's stationary. Go over this curb once again, utilize the whole track. You can eventually see them even using the green part of the curb, so a little bit wider. Not exactly the Astro, but you know, as much as you can go to the right. So 2nd gear, just a little tap on the brakes, and 3rd gear. Do not accelerate in 2nd. 2nd gear will spin you out. So be careful, upshift into 3rd and put the power down. So if you carry the speed, and if you're not in 2nd gear, if you're, let's say, in 3rd gear, you can eventually put the power down much sooner. And it's going to give you a lot more straight line speed into this one. And in the end, I think it's going to make a difference at about even 2 to 3 tenths if you can get the perfect amount of speed. So here, this is the toughest one, honestly. I think I lost a tenth here. So in between 150 and 100, more or less about 130, brake, lift off, because this is the point where you actually need to lift that the car is able to turn. So you lift and then the car will turn. Put the power down and you just want to straighten up the car as much as possible, and do it in 2nd gear this time. So you have to be careful, like very careful, otherwise the car will eventually spin out. So make sure that you position the car in the straight line and only then put the power down completely. So I guess that was pretty much about it. I think this is all about maintaining the speed, maintaining that downforce, and the car will actually do half of the job for you. But if you stop it too much, you will eventually lose a lot of speed, and this is not going to look good. So just, I would say, just take it easy and really focus on getting the right lines instead of like pushing the whole lap. It's gonna pay dividends in the future as well. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed in this video. So if you did, you can always hit the like button, or you can maybe even subscribe to my channel if you really liked it. But in general, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time. See ya and bye. Let's not screw it up. Okay. Finally.